in play. The ballasts are also going to be in effect today. And you've got yourself a heck of a round ahead of you. It's been an absolute pleasure and an honour to be able to bring the Invitational to you. 3-round special event. And here we go. Green flag already. We have got major fighting at the front. It's a Lettonen and Bouquet all going for it hot. And it's a sea of Fraschini's as they're going to go 3 wide, 4 wide, all trying to get some space into the first corner, and nobody is going to be safe here. You can see even at the back, skimming across those curbs and going to have a mighty difficult time. You can see it darting in. That is going to be a heck of a contact made. I think that was De Vries, or at least someone in that pack right there. Either way, you're going to have quite a kerfuffle as everyone is just darting, trying to find their way into some kind of space, some kind of position. Nobody is safe in these opening laps. Nobody is going to be given any room to breathe as chaos is already erupting up and down the order. Say poor, and oh no, that's poor. I think looks like Stijink as well. The both of them are going to go sideways, and just like that, we already have our first major casualties here in the session. Mighty impressed with those at the front of the field. They've managed to negotiate these first couple of laps and keep things relatively calm, although 40 has had a major issue coming out of those first couple of corners. Looks like there's a lockup as well. That is going to be Matt Fordham as he goes very deep into turn 3. Okay, meanwhile, onto the back of Lettonen. Remember, these two have got a championship fight to attend to. 147 points for Lettonen, 140 for Bouquet, so a lot rides on tonight's result. I mean, between Butzin and Stenner as well, single point separates them, so arguably even more of a championship fight between these two. And you can see going side by side, there's a big squeeze. Butzin and Stenner coming close together and continuing to jostle side by side, trade with paint and rub tires as we go through turn 3 now into turn 4, 5. A little bit of a lockup you can see in the foreground coming in from Bouquet. Patu still holding up the pressure. Stenner is going to go on the defensive as Butzin is forced to go behind and having to tuck away in order to preserve his car and preserve himself for another fight another day. Fordham is going to go very narrow, really trying to commit to an overtake here onto the likes of Stijink, not Stijink, Sims. See, Fordham is actually being put into a bit of a tight spot. Okay, Sims and Lovrich going very close together. Though two cars going wide as a... Fordham going very wide, pulling himself out. So Lovrich is going to get the advantage and the overtake heading into turn 8 and now 9 and 10. That's going to be Jordan firing it down the inside line as Sims has taken a very passive approach to this sector of the course and has paid for it. Also still humming away in the background. Anthony Hyde, though, going too hot into turn 3 is going to open the door and give him the perfect opportunity. Really clean overtake there from Borg, so well played. Hyde is going to try and have a bit of a countermeasure, though. He peeks to the left side as he goes through into turn 5. Unfortunately, he's just going to outbrake himself there and really put himself in the mud as he's now over a second away, and that is going to be putting him in a little bit of no man's land for now. You can see Bouquet and Lettonen continuing to joust, going to the inside, then to the outside. Defensive and offensive maneuvers coming in on all sides. The two are acutely aware of each other and acutely aware of the predicament that they are in. Now, Lettonen does still need to defend hard, even if he is displaced into second, because Patouche could produce just as much of a threat. And the last place he wants to be is stuck between two very fast drivers with no way of escape. But there still is a lot of room to be filled. Here's Stijink on the back of Hyde, although he's actually going to tail off. And looks like that's going to be an... oh no! Major contact! Hyde and Steegen going into the back of each other. Hyde with the lockup, but the door being closed on the inside, or at least it looks that way. There's going to be Lovric trying to get around the order and managing to neatly negotiate his way through the traffic, luckily. We've actually got quite a bit of tension between the top 4 drivers. So previously we would just focus on Lehtonen and Bouquet, but Patouche and Butsin have actually closed in quite a lot and could even be seen as a little bit of a threat to the top 2. All we can see is going to be Patouche going for it into turn 3. I was just sort of waiting my breath, seeing if there was going to be anything coming through, but Patouche has actually got a really excellent line through turn 3. Quite an impressive showing. Bouquet is going to come up close to the back of Patouche here within 0.3 of a second, closing in a little bit more as he gets out and into the third and final sector. Quarter of a second. Quarter of a second. Now, is he going to be able to get any closer? Okay, looks like we do have Paul with a chance here to go for an attack on Paul Sims. Though Sims did go off the track, he's still ahead for the time being. Paul is going to go peeking down the narrow of turn 9 and 10. A little bit deeper onto the exit, as that is going to be a very narrow run from Paul Sims. Not going to be able to get as much exit speed, but quickly tucks in behind. Now he's going to see if he can get a counter-attack going here. There's Paul going extremely defensive on the start-finish straight. And now into turn 1, the two of them are going to run parallel. There's a Sims tucking in behind, though could have a chance on the switchback. Remember, if he gets into the inside of turn 3, that's his for the taking. Unfortunately, not quite close enough. Sims now half a second away and now out of reach of the position. Could be going for it, but they into the lead as well, and no, that's going to be contact made as chaos erupts between P2 and 4. Lehtonen is getting away. Bouquet is up into P2, but immediately is going to get it snatched away again. Poor exit out of turn 3. Patouche is back in it, and even Butsin is getting involved, having made contact with Patouche on the exit. Steiner is also going to challenge him for the P5. We're going side by side into the latter sector of the course. I say Patouche is going to be well off in the distance, but De Vries is going further out to the side and opening the door to Richard Cook and Danny Moffat, as those two will be charging head first into combat. Looks like a wobbly exit on turn 3 from Moffat. Cook's managed to get away. De Vries could be having a second lease of life as he goes side by side with Moffat down the back straight here. Moffat is still going to have the apex of the corner, but let's see if there is a switchback coming through. Very tight to the back there, practically inches away. Excellent overtake, well executed from De Vries though. Real smooth and smart stuff. See, he's going to peek to the inside here. He's going to go for it later on the brakes, going a little bit deep into the first corner, and unfortunately is just going to get himself switched back upon by his opponent. This will be the final lap of the race here, and let's see if that's going to be finished in style. Pavel Steiner, I think acutely aware of the situation, is going to go narrow. He is going to quickly dart back to the outside once again, as Butsin is heavy on the defense. Little bit of contact coming in between the two, and that's going to be Bouquet going very deep into the grass, in fact. Barely ever see that. He is still going to be riding along and getting himself recovered, but Steiner going too deep into turn 3, going off into the gravel. Butsin is well and truly away now. It's going to be over a second of clearance between those two. Pour and Hyde still chasing each other, fighting tooth and nail to get these overtakes done. They know that they're on the clock. They know that they're running out of time here. Meanwhile, Lettonen coming up to the back of some traffic here, and I believe that is going to be, I say, the likes of, I think it's Sims. Yes, that is Paul Sims making way for the leader of the race, and the leader of the race, he is going to become the winner of said race now as he comes through the final corners, the clock barely ticking over to 0, and Lettonen is going to be your champion of not only round 3 but your champion of the Invitational. He takes it in style and takes it in confidence. Button coming across the line in second, well and truly securing his P2 in the championship, as fellow rival Bouquet all the way down in 4th, in fact going into the pits here, so I'm not sure if that is going to be even further. Looks like 5th position by the end. Steiner is going to be in 3rd, Patush in 4th, Bouquet in fact confirmed in 5th place. Let's see what's happening.